Welcome back. In the last module, we mapped our CRM data to individual contact point email and contact point phone. Now let's complete the ShopSphere data model by mapping the remaining 4 data resources. By the end of this video, all of ShopSphere's data will be standardized and ready for identity resolution. Here is our plan. Loyalty members will map to 3 DMOs, individual contact point email and loyalty program member. Both e-commerce purchases and in-store transaction will map to the Sales Order DMO, and mobile app events will go into custom DMO that we are going to create called app engagement. Let me explain why both e-commerce and in-store transaction map to same Sales Order DMO. They both represent the same type of thing, a purchase transaction. By mapping both into one Sales Order DMO, we get a unified view of all ShopSphere purchases online and offline in one place. This is how we'll be able to calculate the customer total lifetime spend that include both their online and in-store purchases. The source record ID field on each record preserve which system it came from, so we never lose that traceability. Now let's talk about custom DMOs. Sometimes your data doesn't fit nearly into the standard model. That's the case with our mobile app event. The event type field, app open, product view, add to cart, and the session ID field are specific to mobile app tracking and don't have a clean standard DMO equivalent. When you encounter data like this, you create a custom DMO. You define the fields, the data types, and the primary key. Then map your DLO to it just like any other standard DMO. Here is a structure for our app engagement custom DMO. App event ID as a primary identifier, event type and event date, product ID, and product name for the product being interacted with, and session ID. This custom DMO will be available for segmentation. We'll be able to create segments of customers who have app engagement activity, which is very powerful. The loyalty program DMO has fields for tier, point balance, and enrollment date, all very useful for segmentation. The sales order DMO has order date and grand total amount. These are the 2 most important fields for our calculated insight, where we will compute total spend and purchase. Now let's do a hands-on for both sales order DMO and the loyalty one. So we are in Salesforce org. Let's pick the loyalty member data stream. I have already done the mapping, but I'll show you how to do that. Once you are in data stream, you'll go to data mapping, and on the left hand side, you will see the data lake object for loyalty. So these are the fields on the left hand side, which are from data lake object. In case I need to add a new data model entity, then on the right hand side, I can go and search for an object. So these all are the outer box objects that we have. And in case if we want to, let me just show you all of these objects. In case we want to map it to another object, take for example, I say I want to map it to the sales object, then it is going to show me all the DMOs, the inbuilt DMO related to sales. For the time being, we have mapped email. If you look at the email, we have mapped email to the contact point email DMO. The name we have mapped to the individual over here. in the individual object. Then the loyalty ID is mapped to multiple things. So first one is it is mapped to the contact point email ID primary key. Just you have to make sure that loyalty ID from DLO will be mapped to the primary key of each one of those. So if I just select this one, it's mapped. Then over here in the loyalty program member, this is over here, we are mapping the enrollment date. So if we are mapping the last activity day, then party is over here. Then point balance and tier, we have created these as custom field in the loyalty program member. Why created these custom field? Because these fields were not available as out of box, but tier and point balance were there in the my source object DLO. In case I wanted to make use of a DMO, loyalty program member, since those fields were not there, so I added custom. And the way you add custom is you click on add new field, specify the field label and the data type. Now, this is how the loyalty member is mapped to contact point email, contact point phone, individual, and loyalty program member. Now, let's look into the other ones. For the mobile app event, I created a custom one. To create a custom one, so you created a custom DMO for this one because there was no out-of-box data model object which was as per the structure of the source DLO. So over here, if you go to custom data model, you can add a new custom model. We have already created this. You just have to click on this button and then do the mapping. Now let's look into the other one. Let's look into the in-store transaction. Over here, we only have one data model by name sales order. There, we have mapped the customer email to bill to email, and also we have mapped it to sold to customer. This is because when we are going to do the identity resolution, customer email is going to be used to identify the transaction belongs to which particular customer. So that's why we have mapped customer email to sold to customer also. Then the primary key sales order ID over here is mapped to the primary key from the in-store transaction. So in-store transaction has transaction ID as primary key. So this has been mapped. Now just look into transaction ID. It is mapped to the order number and also it is mapped to sales order ID. Quantity we created as a custom field and the others are the standard field of the sales order. The next one is e-commerce purchase. Over here also we are using sales order, bill to email, customer email, then sold to customer, again the same concept, just to make sure we are able to identify that is mapped. Then purchase there, quantity is made as a custom. Then if you look over here, the primary key order ID, this is mapped to sales order ID. Let's go back to presentation. If you run into errors, they are the most common ones. Zero records in the DMO usually means either the mapping didn't run or there is a configuration error. A failed mapping run is usually a data type mismatch. Make sure you're not mapping a text field to a date field. Duplicate key error means your primary key column has duplicate values in the source DLO. And if the party field is empty in your contact point DMO, it means you forgot to include the mapping. Go back at the party mapping. Now let's look at the ShopSphere data model. Individual DMOs has records from both CRM and loyalty sources. Contact point email has emails from multiple sources. Loyalty program member has all 7 loyalty customers. Sales order has all 15 purchases, 10 from e-commerce and 5 from in-store. And our custom app engagement has 8 app event records. 5 diverse data sources have been standardized into 6 unified DMOs. So quick recap, our data model is complete. All ShopSphere data is standardized. Now we are ready for the most transformational step in the data cloud, identity resolution. This is where all those fragmented Jennifer Rodrich records comes live across 5 systems become a single unified profile. It's honestly one of the coolest thing in the Salesforce platform. I'll see you in module 8.